Okay, it is Bay TV Liverpool. My name is Jay. On this station, we like to let you know what is going on in the city, but we also like to shout about the people of the city and what they do. And we want you to get involved and get in touch with us if you've got a programme idea, a documentary idea, and that's exactly what these lads have done now. We're talking about something called Fighting Demons, and with Jon and with Matt, both brothers, Jon and Matt Edge. Yeah. You've got a great story to tell, which we're going to hear about in just a sec. Matt, tell us what Fighting Demons is.
Basically, Fighting Demons, the story is about conquering adversity. It's about using Fighting Demons as like basically a model in terms of everyone's got troubles in life, everyone's got like adversity to overcome, and using Jon as an example and his story, which he'll tell you about shortly. It's about inspiring people in terms of like having that sort of problem and having a struggle, and conquering it with positivity, basically.
So this is a documentary that you put together.
Yeah.
You're a producer, filmmaker, director, jack of all trades, Matt.
Yeah, basically.
But you put this together, seeing your brother and seeing what he's gone through, and have you thought yourself, it's a great idea for a documentary to follow that? Yeah,
to be honest, the idea stemmed from just Jon fighting for this North West title, which he should have fought for about 15 years before, but due to his demons, which I'll let him talk about in a minute. Basically, he got the chance to fight for it again, and he come up with the idea. So this might be my last fight. Can you film it? Can you document it? And I was like, well, how am I going to go about with this? Basically, we started shooting on iPhone.
Yeah.
And then invested in a Canon. We shot some indie sort of DSLR stuff. We're sourcing certain people. So I had a few guys come in and do certain shots with me. I had some guy from ITV come in and do a bit of B-roll and stuff for me. So basically, it was just sourcing people and just trying to get it done for next to nothing, because we didn't really have any funding at the time.
That's good to hear that you've started from scratch on your iPhone, and it's proof that you can do that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of budding filmmakers out there that want to get involved in something like that, and who have stories to tell as well. Stories, mate. You've got a big one to tell us.
Yeah.
So you're a boxer now. You're a boxing trainer. Also MMA, kickboxing.
I've done it all, yeah.
You're a big athlete.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. Tell me about your past. Tell me about how you got into that sport.
Well, basically, when I grew up, I had a troubled childhood. My mother had a drinking problem. My dad left home at an early age. So I never really had no sort of person to guide me. So as a young age, I was bullied. Then when I learnt, like, sort of handle myself, I turned into a bully. And I had anger issues because of my past, because of my mother drinking. And then when I was 18, 19, I got involved in kickboxing, and I sort of channeled my aggression through it, and I done really well. And then I moved over into Thai boxing, and then because I was doing really well at it, and I was heavy-handed, I was knocking people out, I thought I was a superstar.
Yeah.
So I started going out, I started partying.
So in terms of, you say you were good at it, were you doing well in terms of, you know, were you
everyone was talking. Everyone was talking about me.
So within the professional
everyone
world,
was saying you were going to do this, you were going to do that, and I believed it before I'd even made it. So I had like a bit of a drug problem, and I heard it from everyone.
Okay, can we ask what drugs? Or
yeah, I was going out, ecstasy, coke.
Okay.
I was training like a pro in the day. I was living like a junkie of a night. I was staying off work. I heard it from everyone for years.
And at this time, you were doing really well in your profession,
but
you were messing it up in your own head, overnight partying.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And it just sort of, it took its toll, and that's why I kept flitting from different sports. So I'd have a few fights, do well, and then it started taking its toll where I wasn't doing so well, so I'd move over to a different sport. So I just kept hiding it from everyone, really. And then obviously I was meant to fight for this area title years ago. And the fight before it, I was going out, was burning a candle at both ends, and I got a draw in that fight, so I never got to fight for that title. So then it worked out all these years later that I was going to be fighting for this title. So that's when I said, well, there's something here, we could do this, there's interest here, because I cleaned my act up, I wasn't taking drugs no more, I wasn't going out partying.
Were you addicted to drugs?
I wouldn't say addicted, I was more like escapism for me.
Right.
The same as where you use fighting as an escapism, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never understood that me sort of childhood and the way I was brought up had an effect on me so profound, but I understand that now, and I don't use it as an excuse.
So do you think that's why you went into drugs? And
because of course, because what I've done, I don't really have nothing to do with certain members of my family, and I can't have nothing to do with them because they bring that negativity back into my life, and I've just got to stay positive all the time. So I can't have nothing to do with them, and if I do, then that's when I start getting my anger issues coming back. That's when I start wanting to go out more. So I have to like stay away from that.
So it's just complete.
Yeah, and I understand what I've got to do, and that's why I done well in that fight and I won the fight, and then since we started doing this documentary and we put a few promos out on YouTube, things have just gone out like off the scale. I've had people Twittering me, Facebooking me, saying how much they've got these problems. They've been coming to train with me. I've got a team of boxers now that are fighting on the 27th of Feb, and I've got a team of boxers that are fighting on the 14th of March on Jamie McVeigh's Physically 9 show
we'll talk
in the
about that in a
Titanic.
second.
And these are all doing really well. These are all people. I've trained athletes from like the UFC, Mike Wooten, Tasha Jonas, who went on to the Olympics. I've trained all them, but my biggest achievement is just lads like myself who've got major problems and are using this now to change their life about.
So you really channeled all that negativity when you were a child, and then growing up and the partying and everything else, and you've created something really positive now. And this is what we want people to see and get involved in. You're helping kids, because there are so many out there who won't admit to these problems, and
that's it.
Something like this
No one will talk about
will
it.
get them through. So hopefully seeing this documentary, they will see this and think, you know what, I'm going to sort myself out here.
That's exactly why we
and
did it.
That's your aim, isn't it?
That's exactly why we did it, because I'm no different to a lot of kids from Liverpool, a lot of kids, most cities, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's nothing different about me. The only difference is I'm willing to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? I put my card on the table.
That's going to help these people, which is fantastic.
That's why we did it. That was my main goal behind it. And to be honest, without it hasn't even got to its potential yet, and it's already doing well. So there's not one person that said nothing negative about it, because I've been bluntly honest.
Can we just get an insight into what's in there in the documentary? Is it something following you round? Is it what type of thing can people see?
Basically, what we did, they followed me round in my home, in the gym, sparring, training, strength and conditioning, interviewing all the people that are training me, past trainers, the likes of Tasha, Mike
Tasha Jonas, obviously a huge name in the boxing world, big medal winner, internationally known, and you've trained her now.
Yeah. She was a good mate of mine. Obviously, when she's been onto the Olympics and that just took off for her, but I hardly see her anymore now. But before then, we were really close, and I've done a lot of training. She gave a good interview for me, because I've gone out of my way for all these people. Do you know what I mean? I've opened the gyms up when no one else did, and she at a drop of a hat, if she could phone me, I'd be there to train her when the cameras were filming. I'd just, I'd do any person who trains with me, I'm all for them, and I'll do anything for them. And I've done that with every fighter that I've been privileged to train with. So yeah, that's basically it. But basically, the interviews I've come off with people I've trained. Then there's also people that have been fighting with me, and they've all give interviews. And then my very first ever instructor. Do you know what I mean?
So it goes right back.
It goes right back to in the 90s.
Do you think that kids watching this can kind of, obviously, you're talking sports, we're talking boxing, kickboxing, but there's other avenues as well, that if they are feeling stuck, they're feeling, you know what, I'm not good here. Yeah. They can get into swimming, into theatre, into...
Listen, I said this
anything
from day
at all,
one.
voluntary work, it's out there, but you're proof of that.
The only thing with me, right, I never went to school properly, I never got a good education. Some kids who've got issues, they'll have that drive to do well in school. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's different. It was just my niche is fighting, and it's getting the best out of people through my art. Other people could be running, football, as I say, education. If you've got the drive, the one thing that I have got, I'm very well driven. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Where I didn't succeed in school and I didn't fulfill my potential in sport, I've done in life. I've done well in property. I've done well in business. Yeah. I've got that drive, and that's through sport, and it's through me past, and it's through being brought up poor. I didn't want to be poor, and I'd do anything not to be poor. So I always had that drive. If I take on a development, I make sure it's done, and I make sure it gets finished, and it's always on time. It never runs over. So I've always had that, and I think that's come because of me troubled past. That I've always wanted that. I didn't want to fail. I always felt a failure, and I didn't want to become a failure.
Okay, I'm fascinated by this. I think it's great to see someone come from somewhere so low to somewhere so high now, doing great things within the city of Liverpool, which people in this city would love to see, and I know that. Just tell us where we can find out a bit more about this and where we can see some of the documentary. You know, we've got some clips online at the moment.
Yeah, but we've got a few clips. We've got a Twitter, Fighting Demons Twitter page. We've also got a YouTube page, Fighting Demons, and it's got a few promos on there, and there's a few of my fights on there. And they've done well. I mean, we put the last promo, which was a 6-minute promo on, and you can get a good idea of it. And that done like 7,500 views in 4 weeks, you know what I mean? Which is pretty good for.
And kids are coming forward after seeing this.
Yeah, well, I've got a full team now. I've got like 15 solid fighters now, and these are all just normal. These aren't like people that were into sport. These are just people who've got problems, who've seen the promos, and have just been Facebooking me, wanting to train with me. And I mean, my Facebook's been going nuts, you know what I mean, with people who want to train.
So that's all online.
For training neither.
Right.
I've never done nothing like that. Everything's done from my own time. If anything it cost me, I've paid for the gloves, I've paid for the red guards. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing it because I want to try and give something back. I've helped amateur boxing clubs, Derry Matthews' club. I've supported him from day one because I think what he's doing is amazing. Like Jamie McVeigh for Sackley 9, I fully support him.
Yeah. Let's talk about that because we've just got to wrap this up. Titanic Hotel is the place. It's going to be a good night. It's a rematch. Rossi, we all know, we all love him. I worked with Rossi for a long time, so I'm happy to see him in a boxing ring. Actually, I'm going to be taking the mick that night.
He's great.
Good to see Titanic Hotel. Jamie McVeigh's there. Great charity for Sackley 9, and you're behind this as well, aren't you?
Yeah, fully behind him. I think what he does is amazing. I think he's such a strong man for what he's gone through. You know. Just listening to him, you know what I mean, it's heartbreaking when I seen a clip what he done with Claire Simo, and I could only watch it once, do you know what I mean? I think he's such a strong man, and me and him click, because we both come from the same sort of background, to be honest, you know what I mean? When we talk, we just click, and the likes of Rossi, I mean, Rossi was the one who basically got us in touch, you know what I mean? And that was just off me meeting him, because you know he's a lovely fella. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be a good night, and
it's going to be amazing.
Putting lots back into the city, which we like to see.
It's going to be amazing night.
Lads, thank you. Fighting Demons, check it out now. Twitter, Facebook. There are some great clips there, and we're going to get that documentary to the people watching ASAP. John, thank you for coming in, mate. Fantastic story. Matt, as well to you. Well done for taking it off and getting it up on the ground. We need it on telly now, don't we?
Yeah,
That's what's next.
That's the push, like,
okay, nice one, lads. Fighting Demons, John and Matt.